welcome back to another fun and exciting episode of the Healthy Voyager. I'm Carol Scott Hamilton, and you're with me in the Caribbean in Havana, Cuba.
You wander the markets in the crisp winter air. Is hands down the most magical. See the sights, taste local treats, and
Bienvenido a Havana.
So how can you get to Cuba? On JetBlue, of course.
It's time to go.
While the routes may be changing frequently, you can still hop on nonstops to and from Fort Lauderdale International Airport.
Made it. Havana Airport.
Be sure to bring cash with you, as most American credit cards and bank cards will not work at ATMs. Exchange your cash at the airport, get your Wi-Fi cards, hop in a taxi, and you're on your way. So where to stay when in Havana? Well, there are hotels in Havana and Cuba in general. They tend to be quite pricey and charge per person per night. The best way to not only save money, but to also get a better feel for the island is to stay at an Airbnb.
So I'm on the terrace of the house, the Casa Particulares that I rented while I was here in Havana. Casa Particulares have been around before they allowed Airbnb, but I got this one through Airbnb, and it's fantastic. This is a full house, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, beautiful terrace, really comfortable in a great part of town. I'm in Miramar, which is close to Vedado. Very safe neighborhoods, lots of great restaurants and clubs around here, very safe. And it comes with breakfast in the mornings, fresh fruit, all kinds of stuff. There's 24-hour care. So it's a fantastic way to be immersed kind of in the culture of the town without being in a hotel. And another thing is hotels are extremely expensive here. They're government run, so they're able to give a lot of deals that normal hotels would. So they also charge per person per night, which makes it incredibly expensive if you're traveling in a group. But when you're with a group, staying in a place like this is fantastic. So it's cost effective, it's safe, and you really get to know people in town. The staff here working at the house are fantastic, and it's just a really wonderful way to experience Cuba.
Just like fun nights at home, learning about how to properly smoke a Cuban cigar. Finally all settled, it was time to start exploring Havana, as well as getting a taste of the emerging culinary scene.
I've made it to the Paladar de los Mercaderes, which is on Mercaderes Avenue Boulevard here in Old Havana, and this is an area where cars are not allowed to drive. So if you're getting here by taxi or Coco Taxi, they're going to drop you off where there's kind of some cordoned off areas, and then you walk, which is great because then you get to see some really cool stuff. But they've got all kinds of good traditional Cuban food, so let's go grub.
Paladares are the original restaurants in Cuba, also government run for many years. Now there's a boom in privately owned and run restaurants, with only a handful of the original Paladares still in existence. Havana is home to some beautiful Spanish colonial architecture and rich history. So no matter what you're into as a visitor, there's something for everyone. Shopping, dining, art, live entertainment, culture, and history. You can find it all in just one afternoon as you walk around the historic center of Old Havana. After walking around in the tropical heat, grabbing a refreshing beverage with a view of the city is probably a good idea, and I know just the place.
I'm here at the rooftop lounge at the Hotel Ambos Mundos, which is one of Hemingway's haunts. It's one of the hotels that offers a beautiful rooftop lounge dining area. There are a few other ones in town, some of the other hotels, but this one is in Old Havana and a Hemingway haunt, so it's a must, and you get beautiful views of the entire city. You can see all the way to the ocean, you can see into the bay, to the harbor, and you get a nice refreshing drink to cool you off from the Cuban heat.
It's no wonder Hemingway spent so much time in Cuba, so much that he lived here, and I'll get to that in part 2. With so much to see and do, the mix of Latin and Caribbean culture, plus its interesting and tumultuous history, create a place that is pulsing with energy, passion, and creativity.
Churros.
A proud and innovative country whose citizens have shown such resilience, it is all evident in the art, new businesses, music, and all that Cuba is moving toward. Being Latina myself, it very much feels like the Colombia I knew when I was a child, so while it harkens back to nostalgic times for me in Latin America, there's so much growth and excitement for the changing times here in Cuba.
So I've gotten to the Paladar Doña Eutimia, which is literally catty corner from the cathedral, one of the main cathedrals here in Havana. It's a great lunch place, and you may want to get a reservation because it's very packed and busy and popular. It's kind of a Havana staple, so I'm lucky I got in, and I'm going to get my grub on. In my hot little hand, I've got a frozen mojito, so it's kind of a mix between the mojito and the daiquiri. Both originated here in Havana, and here at Doña Eutimia is the only place that you can get it. Salud!
I can't get enough of mariquitas and all things Cuban food.
I grew up with Cuban food, growing up in Miami, and these beans, that's the stuff. The real deal, yo.
Old Town Havana is a veritable maze of small streets full of hidden gems. So many nods to the past, with the mix of what's to come with the new generation on the island. You can get lost for hours just wandering the beautiful streets. Okay, one more Hemingway haunt for you. No trip to Havana is complete without a daiquiri at the place where Hemingway frequented, but also the birthplace of the daiquiri itself. The Floridita is always bustling and fun, and if it's not too crowded, you can snap a shot with the old man. Loving Havana? Well, stay tuned because there's more to come on part 2 of the Healthy Voyager in Havana.